is thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
Been a lot of guitar playing on today's Ted Nugent Real America Voice Spirit Campfire. You know why? Because freedom and the American dream and conservation, resource stewardship, being one with the great spirit of the wild is alive and well, and it has a soundtrack. I played my bow and arrow. What a great lick, but the greatest soundtrack to the conservation urgency. There's an urgency, especially right now in September. It's so urgent, the deer are going, he's coming! Oh my, he's coming! He's probably already here! It's so awesome! So I sat down one day and I went, there I was, back in the wild again. And I felt right at home, where I belong. I had that feeling coming over me again, just like it happened so many times before. Talking about Fred Bear, walk with me down the trails again. Take me back where I belong. Fred. Wow! Goosebumps. Look at the goosebumps. Do you still get goosebumps? If you haven't got goosebumps, stop listening to country music. Anyhow, I want to welcome back my buddy. I got to tell you, Jerry Coyne is my Fred Bear, Spirit of the Wild, Michiganiac, real Michigan, Winter Water Wonderland, Great Lake State Spirit blood brother. Jerry, have your feet touched the ground yet after last Saturday's Fred Bear celebration? Have your feet mine haven't touched the ground.
The Spirit, he's in the wind, he's still alive, Ted. He's flowing all the way around Grayling in that statue. I got to tell you, I drive by the city park every day. Every time I drive, about probably 4 times a day. And people are in front of that statue no matter what time of day. It was a perfect, it's just, words can't describe how great the whole event was and what it's going to mean to Grayling going forward for the next 100 years.
Jerry, I'm verbose. I have a big mouth because I'm clean and sober, so the brain actually connects with the mouth, and the mouth connects with information. And I'm able to express myself rather eloquently, if I do say so myself. And,
yes,
and so do you. You're a radio guy. You don't mince words. When Jerry Coyne speaks, nobody says, geez, I wonder what he meant. We express ourselves with our heart and soul, no matter what the subject, no matter what the conditions of the environment. But I am not kidding. What Fred Bear meant to us, to me, to Neil from Bear Archery, from Tom and Sharon and John Wedrowski and Bob Blevins, my U.S. Marine, the military heroes, the law enforcement heroes that were there. There's so many points I could make, but I'd like to hear your take on the fact that Ted Nugent in Grayling, Michigan, for a Fred Bear celebration with the people who so loved him, I had more snipers on more roofs. I had more security than the Secret Service has ever provided anybody. I got to tell you, Grayling, Crawford County Sheriff Department, the Grayling Police Department, and the Michigan State Police. Jerry, was it not a moment of perfect America?
26 or 27 law enforcement, Ted, I was in the security briefing before you got there, and they had everything planned to the littlest detail. You had a body person, Shemaine had a body person, Toby had a body person. They were locked down, and nothing was going to spoil that day. Thank God nothing did. It was perfect. The weather held off. You got through everything. I know you were emotional about it, and everybody was. I was nervous to go ahead and do that, and then you got outside. We weren't sure how many people were going to be there. Over 4,000, maybe 5,000 people in Grayling City Park. And, everybody's heart was filled with love for Fred Bear and everything that he stands for, everything that you encapsulate in your song. The really coolest thing, Ted, and I don't know if you noticed because you were so busy playing, everybody was singing the song along with you.
Yes.
And that,
grown
really
men
choked me up.
Grown men, me being one of them, bawling our eyes out with a love. I just hope that I know I have effectively, adequately, reverentially conveyed what Fred Bear represented. A lot of people, I got to tell you, one of the saddest points that I'm afraid I witnessed, and I'm not going to dwell on sadness, but that even at archery and bow hunting events, some of our old Fred Bear friends have actually heard bow hunters say, heard the name Fred Bear at this event, not Saturday, but at an archery event in the past, and said, Fred Bear, seems I've heard that name somewhere. That the industry has failed to promote this phenomenal visionary, this man, this symbol of American entrepreneurial risk-taking and sacrifice, and such a kind gentleman. Jerry, did you ever actually get to spend time with Fred? Did you get to know Fred at all? You're too young, aren't you?
No, I'm not too young, but I didn't live here in northern Michigan until we bought the radio stations 12 years ago. So, I mean, I, of course, knew who Fred was. I have a lot of friends who are very active bow hunters. I'm not very good at it, but I've been out in the wilds with my bow. But that's, and the song and the legend I've known about forever. And then living here in Grayling, everybody that's a resident has a Fred Bear story. And so the more that came into my life, the more I understood the impact. And then when John and Tom came to me 7 years ago, talking about their vision of expanding Fred Bear Day, and you and I had already been talking on his birthday, Ted, for a couple years prior to this becoming so big. And, you know, God bless Tom and John and Sharon and the rest of the committee for committing so much time for free. Nobody made a penny on this effort. We got all the donations, and we built the statue, and it's you knew Fred. It looks just like him. It feels like he's right there in Grayling now. He's still alive.
Jerry, here's what I know. You never shook Fred Bear's hand. You were aware of his legend. You can't not be in Michigan unless you're some stoner. But tell me, and I'm going to say it, and you confirm my statement, that when you played the Fred Bear song and people would talk to you about what that meant, because you're in radio, so you play rock and roll, you play music, and people comment on the soundtracks of their lives. And I'm sure people have talked to you about John Lennon's Imagine and Highway to Hell by AC/DC and Back in the Saddle by Aerosmith and Turn the Page by Bob Seger and the great Grand Funk Railroad music and the Michigan artists. But you know what, Jerry Coyne? Because of the love for Fred Bear that is inescapable when you celebrate that song, Jerry Coyne, you know Fred Bear.
I feel I do. I feel I do, Ted. And, you know, maybe more so because my relationship with you, because you and I have had so many conversations about Fred. I know it comes pouring out of you, the love. And, you know, you could not have been a great man to not impact somebody like yourself. You know, and it's the same thing with the conversations that I have with the people that knew him best here in town, like Pete Cacephas, who, you know, adores Fred. And he's told me so many stories about him at the Grayling restaurant and all the things that he'd done for so many people and kids when you met him first as a kid. So, yes, I feel I know Fred Bear intimately.
You do know Fred Bear intimately, because our love for this man, I get so emotional. I'm such a weakling, but I think it's good that I don't even try to hold back my emotions about what I feel about that man. But as people express to you what he meant to you, it's got to be a little shocking, because there's not many people in the world that people love as much as they love Fred Bear. So I got to tell you, Grayling, the mayor of Grayling, all the politicians that came out to connect with the greatest Michigan residents, the greatest conservation families, the Grayling Police Department, the Crawford County Sheriff Department, the Michigan State Police, all the bow hunters, the Michigan bow hunters represented, the prayers. Jerry, thank you for getting involved and using the megaphone of your media to promote what I believe, Henry Ford, powerful stuff. The Dodge brothers, powerful stuff. The iron ore of the Upper Peninsula, powerful stuff. The Edmund Fitzgerald, powerful stuff. But Fred Bear is the most powerful force in Michigan, period.
Ted, there's almost a Christ-like thing about the power of Fred Bear, because on top of being all the things that you said, the great hunter, the innovator, the entrepreneur, he gave love, and that love came back to him tenfold. That's John Lennon, right? The love you give is going to come back to you tenfold. And there it is, built-in statue, all the people in that park praying to Fred Bear.
Jerry, I love you, buddy. I'm going to see you in Grayling soon. Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend. Keep the spirit alive.